As a child, my options for education were somewhat limited. Homeschooling wasn't a true option for us, and certainly the community has grown since that time. I grew up in a Catholic environment and went to a Catholic school. Could have gone to a public school too, but the options still were extremely, extremely limited. I do not think I regret having grown up there. I don't regret how I grew up, but I wish I had different options for education as a child. I wish I had things like the internet and YouTube. In many ways, and I wouldn't be shocked to find this out if there are schools out there, potentially those who homeschool their children, who use our videos as teaching devices. And we wrote an article, really, as one of us was doing research on lockergnome.com about magnet schools. Now, I don't know if you've heard of magnet schools before, and I'm only the parent to a couple of dogs. They need obedience schools, but that's about it. Lord knows I probably needed obedience schools when I was growing up as well. The idea of a magnet school is that there are certainly longer hours, like school time, and a magnet school is usually geared towards one discipline or another, one topic or another. And if I would have had the option for a magnet school that dealt with emerging trends in electronics and computing and technology in general, back when I was old enough to know that I was a geek, and that was probably around the 5th grade. That's the time I remember distinctly drawing keys at the top of my paper, backspace. Like, why don't I have a delete key on my paper? I remember drawing that. I'm not kidding. It was kind of pathetic now that I think about it. But this is something that if I had gone to a magnet school, I would probably have had a completely different career path. That's why I can't regret how I grew up. But the idea of a magnet school, I think, is certainly attractive to me if and when I ever have my own children, and they have a penchant for one thing or another, whatever it happens to be. And, I would hope that, my kid, either a girl or a boy, would want to follow their father's footsteps and be an entertainer and provide information and love technology and be a geek. It may not be the case. They may want a completely different life for themselves. And if their passions for one thing is so strong, or passions are so strong, I ended up being an English major, and you see how far I got with that last sentence that I tried to trip through. I corrected myself, though, before I finished it with a period at the end of the sentence, even though this is more of a run-on than anything. ... That's an ellipsis, by the way. The ... is the idea that you could encourage kids to go one direction or another and help bolster their love for one thing or many things in life. It's just outstanding. And I think I'd ask this question of the audience, because I know I've got a very mixed audience in terms of ages. If you have already gone through school, would you have preferred to go to a magnet school that had been focused on your discipline? Or would you, if you're in school now, would you want to go to a magnet school? Would you kill to go to a magnet school about technology? Maybe not kill, somebody or anything. Maybe kill a blade of grass or something. What would you do if you had the choice to go to a magnet school? Is this something that you would embrace, or do you admonish the idea of doing this? Some people say, no, public school is just fine. No, private school this way. No, magnet school. Everyone's got their own way of thinking, and that's fine. It's just another option for that, really. And that's something that when I say option for that, education, is something that you should consider, because if you are currently still in school and you're not having a good time, possibly go another direction with that. I changed high schools. I went to a high school 1 year. I didn't like it as a freshman and switched high schools, and then loved the high school that I graduated from way back in the day. So, it's okay to possibly shift your direction, and magnet schools may be an option for you. We've listed out a few logical points from our perspective and why we believe that magnet schools are a viable option. Certainly interested in the feedback from the rest of the community, if especially you're in education and that is your career choice. That was my career path. It just ended up not working out I'm now doing videos on YouTube that I believe, despite what some person just commented a couple seconds ago, I think are entertaining. And if I can entertain myself, that's all that matters.